When I first got out of college and was living in my own small little rent house, I decided it was time for me to really step into adulthood. And of course, nothing says I have my life together like a plant. Not a dog, not a savings account, not a grocery budget, not renter's insurance, which, by the way, I found out much later, you're supposed to have that. But because 22-year-old me was convinced, I went out and bought a plant because, heck, if I could keep that alive, I had to be an adult, right? I remember thinking, yep, I can do this. I've paid rent. I'm an adult. I've passed college classes. I made spaghetti last night and only burned half of it. Turns out I was not unstoppable. But here's the wild part. No matter where I set this plant, and the locations varied because I kept reorganizing, which is code for I lost it for several days at a time, that plant would always twist itself back towards the window. Always. I'd wake up in the morning, see it turn towards the light, and it was basically preaching its own sermon. Look, man, you forgot I existed. You gave me like 2 sips of water this month. You nearly killed me with that sack of laundry. But I know where the light is. I'm staying with the source. This plant had more spiritual maturity than I did. It wasn't strong. It wasn't thriving. Honestly, if plants had personality, this one was probably a dramatic introvert barely holding it together, but it was stubbornly connected to the source of life. And that is abiding. Not glamorous, not impressive, not post a picture on Instagram with your latte and a Bible open to your favorite verse that you definitely weren't reading before the picture. Just turning again and again towards the true source of life, even when growth is slow or invisible or honestly feels non-existent. Welcome to an extra shot of Grace in the Grind, the part of the podcast where the mic probably should have been turned off, but we kept talking anyways. This is the bonus space for deeper theology, honest stories, fewer filters, and a level of caffeinated commentary I should probably apologize for in advance. We'll dig a little deeper, laugh a little louder, and occasionally go a bit off the rails. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let's take an extra sip together. Today we're digging deeper into grace that stays, because let's be honest, we love starting things. We love beginnings. Beginnings feel spiritual. Beginnings are exciting. I'm starting a new Bible reading plan. Day 1, Genesis. Feeling blessed. Day 2, Exodus. God is powerful. Day 3, Leviticus. Lord, I did not agree to this. We love the idea of abiding. We love a good new season moment. We love mountaintop verses and worship song level emotions. But John 15, this passage isn't hype. It's not fireworks. It's not spiritual. It's not a spiritual energy drink. It's the steady, grounded, daily remaining in Christ that leads to real fruit. Staying, remaining, enduring. Even when it's boring, even when it's slow, even when you're like, Lord, if we could move this sanctification thing to the express shipping, that would be great. So today we're going to go deeper, theologically, biblically, practically, into what it actually means to live a life of abiding, a life of grace that stays, because abiding is not glamorous, but it's powerful. It's quiet, but it's transformative. It's slow, but it's steady. And God does his best work in steady. Abiding is not spiritual napping. It's not coasting on grace. It's not holy inertia. When Jesus says, abide in me, he's calling us to active dependence. The Greek word used there means remain, continue, endure, stay attracted, do not leave. It's the spiritual equivalent of a toddler's death grip on your leg in the church lobby every Sunday, that they know they're about to get sent to the nursery and they're not ready to go. Abiding isn't a lack of effort. It's an effort pointing to the right direction. You're not striving to impress God. You're staying because he already has chosen you and attached you to himself. Abiding says, I'm not strong, but I am connected. Jesus says, whoever abides in me bears much fruit. He doesn't say whoever tries really, really hard might get a spiritual participation trophy. He says you will bear fruit if you stay connected. Branches do not produce fruit by gritting their teeth and saying, I will be loving today, even if it kills me. Branches produce fruit because life flows through them from the vine. Fruit isn't a flex, it's evidence. If fruit is showing up in your life, that's Christ working in you. If fruit is not showing up yet, don't panic. You're not broken. You're in the growth season. Fruit takes some time. Seasons matter. Roots matter. But fruit always follows connection. So in order to bear fruit or more fruit, God prunes us. Pruning looks like loss, feels like loss, acts like loss, but pruning is how God grows you. You know what God often cuts first? Good things that were becoming ultimate things. Comfort, routine, control, your carefully laminated 5-year plan. Pruning isn't God saying, you messed this up. Pruning is God saying, if I leave this here, it will limit what I'm building. Pruning is not rejection, it's investment. It is God's way of making room for what comes next. Every pruning season is a preparation season for more fruit. So our spiritual life has 3 stages. Beginning, I'm going to change the world for Jesus. Calm down, Jeremiah. Ending, look at what God has done. Middle, Lord, are you doing anything? Because I feel like I'm stuck on the loading screen. Things are buffering here. Do I have a good internet connection with you, God? The middle is where abiding thrives, because the middle is where hype dies and roots grow. The middle is quiet, unremarkable, often unseen, but the middle is where God forms the character to sustain the fruit. God does not rush deep work, and abiding is how we partner with His pacing. Let's drill down deeper. Abiding flows from the union with Christ. You abide because you are already united to Him. He holds you. Abiding is evidence of salvation, not the qualifier for it. You abide because you belong, not to earn belonging. Abiding is sustained by the Spirit. You do not cling to Christ in your own strength. The Spirit keeps your faith alive. Abiding is relational, not mechanical. You're not maintaining a machine. You're cultivating communion. Abiding is the primary path of sanctification. Growth happens through staying near Christ, not through spiritual achievement. Abiding is endurance shaped by grace. Not sprinting, not striving, but staying. Abiding is slow because spiritual maturity is grown, not microwaved. Here's how to practice grace that stays. Practice daily remembrance, not hype, not affirmation, not speaking your destiny into the atmosphere. Just remembering what God has already spoken in His Word. Identity follows truth. Build one steady rhythm, not 5, not 15, just one daily habit that turns you towards the vine. A psalm, a prayer, a moment of quiet, a verse you revisit. Roots grow from repetition. Pay attention to pruning. Instead of saying, why is God doing this to me? Say, what is God doing in me? Pruning is not random, it's strategic. Check connection, not results. Your job, remain. God's job, produce fruit. So stay in your lane. Return quickly when you drift. Don't wander for days out of guilt. Branches don't reattach through shame. They reattach through grace. Come back quickly. Surround yourself with abiding people. Faith grows in community. Isolation starves it. Find believers who turn towards Christ and turn with them. Keep turning towards the light, even if your turn feels like a tiny rotation that no one else notices. Abide in small, steady movements towards Christ. Like my stubborn plant, dramatic, deeply confused, unwatered, but turning towards the source every single day. All right, that's your extra shot. Longer than usual, stronger than usual, and hopefully funnier than usual. If this encouraged you, share it with a friend, especially someone who's been spiritually unplugged and running on 3% battery since Tuesday. And hey, if you want to support the show, grab a bag of coffee from Aaron Roots Coffee Company. It won't solve all your problems, but it will make them taste a little better and smell like coffee. Anyhow, thanks for hanging out with me today, and remember, your coffee may run out, your patience may run out, your ability to find matching kids' socks may definitely run out, but His grace won't.